Many people have heard of a game called Dwarf Fortress. Many people have also heard that it's difficult to get into, hard to learn, complex, deep, and overall kind of scary. I'm here to show you that the game's actually quite approachable. It's a relatively easy game to play once you know all of the steps. Getting started is the hardest part, so I'm going to help you through that. The goal of this particular video isn't to teach you every single step painstakingly, slowly, one by one. It's to simply help you get started. We're going to be covering installation, basic setup, a couple settings, installing a simple tile set, and starting your first game. If you have any questions about anything you see in the video, you can always leave a comment down in the comments section or ask me when I'm live on Twitch, 7 days a week, twitch.tv/blindIRL. Let's get started. We're going to download Dwarf Fortress. I already have an installation right here. However, we're going to go to bay12games.com/dwarves and select Windows, because that's the operating system I'm currently running. We're going to download it. This is going to give us a zip file. When it's finished downloading, drag and drop it onto your desktop, open up the file using a browser of your choice, create a new folder. I'm putting this on my desktop. I think I'm just going to call it Dwarf. Copy paste the contents into the folder, let it extract, let it finish its thing. Now close the extraction window, open up the folder that you've named Dwarf, scroll down to the icon that says Dwarf Fortress, double click, and there you go. Dwarf Fortress is running. You're greeted by the lovely Bay12 Games intro, and if you just hit escape, you'll skip through it nice and quick. Now you see the main menu, you can kind of whittle the size around, move it up and down, make it full screen, do whatever. However, we're gonna tweak a few things. So let's scroll up and go up to the data folder. This is gonna then take us to the init folder, and then we're gonna hit init. Welcome to the options menu for Dwarf Fortress. We're gonna start off by turning off sound, leaving the volume at default because sound's off, removing the intro, making sure the game stays in windowed mode, and setting the resolution to something a little bit more reasonable. I prefer 1600 by 900, but quite frankly, it's up to you. Also, we're going to change the font to tileset.png. All of these settings can be found in a paste bin link down beneath this video. If you want to use these exact settings, simply go down to that link once you're done watching and copy paste them yourself. Now you can save that and close. Next thing you're going to open up is the colors screen. The colors can also be found down in the description beneath this video that I'm currently using. There are many great color custom packs out there. The particular tile set we're going to be using today and these colors are actually taken from the YouTuber Krugsmash. Big shoutouts to him, he makes amazing stuff. Next, go back to the data folder, click on art, and then copy paste whatever default tile set you would like to use. There are some already included. Just simply name whichever tile set file you would like Tileset, and make sure it's a PNG file, and you should be good to go. Now all that's left to do is scroll down and launch Dwarf Fortress. And there we go. There it is. Dwarf Fortress. We're ready to get started. I would just like to take a moment to shout out Krugsmash for making this particular tile set. I'm a huge fan of it, and I've been using it almost exclusively ever since I discovered him last October. Big shout outs to him. You can find his channel down in the description. This is the screen for creating a world. You can take as much time in this menu as you like. Let's just press Y and get started. So now what the game is doing is it's taking a large amount of time to generate 250 years of history. I recommend getting a cup of coffee or maybe grabbing a quick snack because this takes a while. For the sake of time in this video, just press escape or enter and we'll pause the generation at 156 years. Now, we're just gonna press enter and accept the world as is. Then we'll get started finding a spot to settle. Now, we're back at the main menu and you can see we have a new option. It says start playing. We're gonna select Dwarf Fortress. Dwarf Fortress, the traditional mode, which is what we're playing today, allows us to build a settlement of dwarves. Adventure mode lets us take control over a single hero and roam the world freely. And Legends mode is essentially a history book. It's fascinating. We're going to be focusing on Fortress mode today. The game went through some brief loading screens, and now we see a calendar. Time is passing by. You might be wondering what the game is doing. It's finding a spot for us to fit in to history. It's kind of awesome, really. This is where people often become overwhelmed. It's quite simple, really. There's 3 separate viewports to the world. On the left, we have our local viewport. This is very zoomed in. In the middle, we kind of have our region, gives us an area to see, and the world map on the upper right. We're just gonna run a quick search by hitting F, find desired location, down in the bottom. If you ever find yourself in a menu here where you don't know what you're looking at, simply hit escape and it'll take you back. And we're gonna look for a region with no aquifers. Aquifers can cause flooding underground, and they're very dangerous, especially if you don't know how to deal with them. In the next version, they're actually gonna be made a lot easier to deal with, but we don't need to worry about that right now. Just make sure that you settle somewhere that has a temperate biome and no aquifer. Shallow metals, if you can find them, are a plus, but not necessary. Now simply hit enter to do your search, and the game will go through the searching process. Now we can just poke around and find where we would like to settle. Anywhere's fine, pretty much. Ideally, you would like to find somewhere that has temperate, maybe calm surroundings, and if you hit tab, as you see as I just have here, you can actually see who your neighbors are. We seem to have found a good spot. Let's select the faction that we wish to play. If you actually look at the map closely, you'll notice that as I scroll through these factions, using the plus and minus key on the numpad, you can see the different faction locations lighting up. The past tour is close to us, and they seem to be pretty well appointed. Let's go with them. Now we're just going to hit tab and double check our starting location. We have temperate grassland, temperature is temperate, trees are sparse, vegetation is moderate, surroundings are wilderness. This will do just fine. Once you're ready, press enter, and this will give you two options. Play now will give you this screen, but if you hit prepare carefully, you can select your dwarves, their skills, and the gear that you take with, maybe some pets as well. But when you're just getting started, just press enter, and then press enter again, and you'll see this screen after a few seconds. You have arrived after a long journey from the mountain homes into the forbidding wilderness beyond. Your harsh trek is finally ended, and your party of 7 is to make an outpost for the glory of all Gushigan. There's almost no supplies left, but with stout labor comes sustenance, whether by bolt, plow, or hook. Provide for your dwarves. You are expecting a supply caravan just before the winter entombs you. But it is spring now, enough time to delve secure lodgings, ere the jaguar men get hungry. A new chapter of dwarven history begins here at this place. Zugtubal. Tattoo Canyons. Strike the earth. Now all you need to do is press enter, and the game will begin. However, I would like to just start off with this. The game looks a lot scarier than it is. Things will sort itself out with time. As soon as you begin playing the game, things will start to make sense. Welcome to Dwarf Fortress. The first thing that you're going to want to do is pause the game. It starts up unpaused. Simply hit spacebar to pause the game. You'll see a mini-map, your hotkey selection, and the game window. The first thing you're going to want to do is hit tab twice and remove 2 pieces of the UI. If you hit it a third time, this menu will also disappear. However, if you want to get it back, simply hit tab and it will reappear like magic. Now let's become acquainted with the world. You can move around using the arrow keys and zoom in and zoom out using the mouse wheel. Now I know what you're thinking. This is very scary looking. What is this? Blind, what am I looking at? Trust me, it's not that scary. What you're looking at is a flat map. This is called a Z level. Dwarf Fortress is a fully 3D world. You can move up and down Z levels individually by holding left shift and hitting greater than and less than on the right hand of your keyboard. It's very fluent, and you'll get used to it quickly. Trust me. I recently put out another tutorial called Understanding the Visuals of Dwarf Fortress, which you can find on my YouTube channel. I'll put a link down in the description if you would like to get more well acquainted with the visuals themselves. But on the topic of visuals, it's time to learn how to look at the world. If you hit the K key on your keyboard, the letter K, it'll open up this screen. Look. This allows us to look around at any object in the world. Where you see random squiggles and lines, I see dense grass, not grass. A siltstone boulder, maybe a tree trunk. Let's look at how tall that tree is and move up a few Z levels by holding shift and greater than and less than. Moving up, we take a peek around. Notice it has branches. They stick out quite a ways. The little speckles represent open space, and the blue represents deeper open space. I think about it kind of like Silent Hill when it has the fog as you're walking around, back on the PS2. Now if you press the letter U on your keyboard for units, you'll see the dwarves that we have assigned to us. We have some woodcutters, a miner, stoneworker, a jeweler, and 2 fish workers. The next piece of UI I'd like to make you aware of is the Z menu. This is your colony overview. It'll show you exactly the number of each type of dwarf that you have, as well as helping you become acquainted with the color codes. First things first, we're going to hit D for designations. Open up the designations screen, and then hit T to chop down some trees. Press enter and select the tree trunks that we would like to cut down. Our woodcutters will make short work of them with their battle axes. The next thing we want to do is hit D while still in the designations menu, and we're going to draw out a chunk of dirt to dig out in the side of this hill. We're then going to select some stairs to put going down. So we're going to hit J for downstairs to go a couple Z levels down. Issue is, this looks a little bit too big. Let's make it a little bit smaller. We're going to hit X to remove some of this marking, press enter and drag, and then hit D to mine out some of those extra steps. Now we're going to move down a few Z levels. And in the recording, I actually hit the wrong key. We hit upstairs, specifically, which is okay. And I designate a few Z levels down, specifically stairs. We're going to overwrite that by hitting I for up downstairs, moving back up a couple Z levels, 1 Z level below the downstairs that we originally built, and we're good to go. Our dwarves will begin chopping down the trees and digging our new home. Now simply press space and unpause the game and allow your dwarves to begin their tasks. Dwarf Fortress is not as complicated as it looks. It's actually quite an easy game to play. However, since it's a little bit obtuse, it's very difficult for me to show you every single step in one video. For now, I will leave you with this. If you wish to start playing Dwarf Fortress, the best resource to get it started is the Dwarf Fortress Wiki's Getting Started Guide. It'll be the first link beneath this video. If you would like to talk to me or have any questions, once again, I'm live 7 days a week on Twitch. Not always playing Dwarf Fortress, but it is a good, large amount of my content. As well as on this YouTube channel, there are all of my Dwarf Fortress archives where you can find embarks, new starts. I also produce a short series called Today in Dwarf Fortress, which is a bunch of highlights of recent events. All the links can be found below. I will be doing more of these tutorials in the future, so if you have anything specific you'd like me to cover, please let me know. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope to see you live in my chat or in the comments section down below. Just remember, dwarves only need alcohol and a little bit of food. Water's for humans. Strike the earth.